Hello and welcome to Game 3 of the HiNice Cup game match between Lyn, spawning as the red orc in the right side of the map, versus Remind, spawning as the blue elf on the left side of the map. This is, of course, Echo Isles, and this is Game 3 of the HiNice Cup best of 5 between the two players. We've already seen the first two games, and the score is... Should I tell you all the score? I don't know. Tell me in the comments if this bothers you, but I'm going to go ahead and tell you the score. It is 1-1. But yeah, just tell me if that bothers you, because I guess some people might want to watch these out of order for some reason and not have the remaining of the game spoiled. I didn't really think about that until just now, but see, I'm not sure that's a big concern for anybody, but if it is, just let me know and I will not do that anymore. So yeah. But anyway, so here we are. We can see that this is, of course, fairly standard. We have the AOW creep coming down here. This is a little bit risky, but it's less risky on this side than it would be over here on this side. As you can see on this side, the AOW goes right here, very, very close to the creeps. But over here, it's a little bit farther, maybe twice as far from the creeps. So not quite as risky. This is an odd map, because it's not a very symmetric map. As you can see, there's like all this extra land right here. If you look over here, there's like practically no extra land. Just water, and you can't build on the water. Oops. So this is really the safe spawn, really. This is a very safe spawn, and this is not a safe spawn at all. So it's really interesting to see that, those little things. A lot of people don't even realize, from what I've talked to them, that EI, or Echo Isles, this map right here, isn't actually symmetrical. But it's not, and it's weird. It's just an odd map that it's not symmetrical. But anyway, here we can see him using the lightning shield to do some extra damage to creep this out faster. A little bit risky, of course, given that it does make your archer take a lot more damage, but not too big of a deal. And one thing is that you don't want any units to die to the lightning shield, because then the creep takes the experience, and that basically means that you don't get anything. Using the archer to attack his AOW, basically what that does is it makes the creeps no longer attack him. Basically just a little trick for microing. And that works with any unit taking auto-focus fire damage. If you just take your unit and you have it attack another one of your units, and sometimes you don't even have to do the complete attack, and it'll have the AI go ahead and switch to a different target, because it kind of is like, oh, that's an ally, it's doing damage to my enemy. So just a nice little thing to do, also very useful, and it basically was the only way he could keep that archer alive after running in with the lightning shield, and he was slowed and all that good stuff. So here we can see the Lyn going ahead and item creeping his top green right there, taking some damage, as well as a wind walk, a mana burn, but he does have just enough mana for another wind walk here in a second. It does 75 mana to wind walk, and he's about to have that. As you can see, goes ahead and does that right before he gets 75 and uses it again. Very, very risky to do that, because if that wind walk, or if that mana burn had went off just a second earlier and it didn't actually get casted, but had it, then it would have kept him from being able to generate enough mana to hit Windwalk, and he would have taken the full 50, which also would have done a lot of damage, and he would have been in a precarious position where he would have been being running away with, you know, maybe he would have been down to like 80-ish life, 90-ish life, something like that. You can see this ALW creep right here. It's a nice thing, because it's so close to over here, as you can see, which basically just allows him, once he finishes this ALW creeping, to walk over here and creep this out. A little bit harder as well over here. As you can see, it's even farther. This spawn, this side of the map, just really a little bit unfortunate of a spawn. I really don't know why that's not more complained about. I think it's a little bit ridiculous, but I guess it's not such a huge deal. But it is a little bit. I mean, it certainly can be. I've seen it be the difference in many outcomes of many games. Of course, Echo Isle being a very old map, but whatever. Anyway, we do see there is a merc out on the field. There's a forest troll berserker for Remind, coming from this mercenary camp, of course, and we can see that the grunt. Basically, I think it got a hit off on the forest troll berserker. It did, in fact, get a hit off, but not a huge deal. Here is Remind. He might actually go for an item creep right here, and in fact, he does go for the item creep. And as you can see, he's brought in these two little, his archer and the forest troll berserker, who can actually hit this from that far over there, which is very nice. And the blade master is saying, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and take advantage of this and attack your demon hunter. And in fact, it looks like, I'm not sure who's going to win here, but it looks to me like the blade master is going to in fact win. In fact, he manages to kill the demon hunter. That's a pretty big deal. And Remind calling it UK lag, which is very unfortunate. I think it means Ukraine, not United Kingdom, but it's probably got a Ukraine host here. Either way, that is very unfortunate. The Blade Master is looking like he might get picked off by Remind, and in fact, Remind kills the hero. So neither player really having a good outcome from this. However, of course, it is slightly better for Lyn because he did get the experience for the Demon Hunter, but that is quite an interesting, almost comical kind of thing that we just saw happen there. It's very rare that you see both heroes die in such a fashion. So that was very entertaining, to say the least, I would say. Very, very interesting, very awesome that happened, I think. Anyway, we can see over here, we don't see the standard Druid of the Talon build from Remind. We're actually seeing an Ancient of Lore, and he is going ahead and throwing down that second Ancient of Lore as well as teching to tier 3 right there. And there is a shop. So we look over here, we can see a bunch of very low HP grunts. Are we going to see... We do see the Spirit Lodge as well as the Bestiary right there. And we do see him still at tier 2, reviving his level 3 Demon Hunter. Of course, that's a Beastmaster jeez, I'm sorry. His level 3 Blade Master. For some reason, I just have a hard time separating all of those hero names. We do see the level 2 Demon Hunter about to pop out, and so went ahead and started auto creeping this as well. I'm gonna go ahead, and he does get the experience for that kill on his Demon Hunter, who is now level 3. So. I don't know who comes out on top really in a big way, because you could definitely make the argument that at level 2, losing your hero, getting out and spawning faster from the altar the altar, what is it called? Altar of Elders? Yeah. They're each called different ones for the different races. It's Altar of Storms, as you can see over here for the Orc. The Altar of Heroes, I think, is for human, and I believe the Altar of... yeah, I don't remember what it's called for the undead, which is odd because I play them. But whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, so here we do see the shop being taken over here. But, yeah, like I was trying to say though, it's very interesting that it allowed the Demon Hunter to get out faster and start creeping again. And as you can see, he's actually managed to take an experience advantage over the Orc. So he does go ahead and start running away after he got the item in one of the kills. He's thinking, if the Blade Master comes in here and he ganks me and he gets boots or something, then I could be in a bad situation if I have to run away. I might have to be forced to TP, so he's just trying to salvage that situation. A lot of the game is about minimizing risks, and we actually see a Keeper of the Grove coming out as the second hero for the Elf. Very nice pick. Not exactly standard, but... or at least I'm not aware of this. I do actually kind of vaguely remember a strategy that is like this for Elf against Orc. I haven't actually seen it in a long time. I don't know if it's still played commonly. I don't get to watch this matchup as much as I would like to. So it might be common and I just don't know about it. Anyway, we don't see a boots of speed on the Blade Master. This is a very odd thing. It's very odd. He's got quite a bit of damage items right there. He's got two claws, 2 gloves of haste, and a circlet, which is just absolutely insane amount of damage and some survivability from that circlet as well. But it's weird that neither one of them have boots, because both of these heroes are very common boots holders. So I don't know. Maybe this is a strategic decision from the Orc. Maybe he knows that the Demon Hunter won't get boots. I really have absolutely no idea. I can't even imagine actually why they wouldn't have boots. It seems like it's such a good item to have no matter what. But anyway, we do see the expansion from Lyn being canceled by the Elf. Doesn't really have a very large army here, and he's keeping these bears maybe over here at his base, and they are tier 3 master upgraded bears now, which means they will be able to morph into bear form, which is a big deal. Here we can see that very nice, a entangle and a mana burn going off onto this Blade Master, which effectively prevented him from doing anything. Drained all of his mana and prevented him from getting the kill on that archer. And they did go ahead and deny the archer kill, and we do have these raiders coming in here chasing down the army, so unfortunately unable to actually manage to pick off or get a whatever it's called, an ensnare off, which would have been deadly perhaps to one of the units. We do see 4 bears in play, and perhaps we'll see some druids some druids of the some dryads, that's what it is, dryads out on play. These are the druids of the claw, of course. Yeah, so I'm in dryads. Some dryads would be nice to have. They do slow down your opponent, which is very helpful, and they have dispel or abolish magic, which allows them to do a single targeted spell, which would it wouldn't be the greatest thing to use to pick off Spirit Link, but it wouldn't be too bad if you were focusing firing down a hero to abolish the hero first. Here we can see there is a Wand of Illusion being used on one of these bears in bear form. And we can see that the Demon Hunter, or the Blade Master, might gets his Windwalk right off before he gets mana burned. Very close. He managed to get to 75 mana just as that happened. As you can see, he was very close to having it. And if he had managed to, if he had been mana burned again at 74 mana, that would have been probably a little bit frustrating for him. It's definitely not fun to have your Blade Master get mana burned. We do see a Coda Beast coming out. A Coda Beast can just go ahead and eat one of these. These are very strong units right here, the Druids of the Claw. And you don't really want them to lose them. Coda Beast can always be able to go ahead and eat your big heavy units. Not something you really want to have happen. However, Coda Beasts are very susceptible to entangling roots, and as you can see, it goes ahead and happens. It does quite a bit of damage over time, actually, especially at level 3. But at level 2, or level 1, I mean, not very big deal. As you can see, there is some very nice use of rejuvenation as well as ensnare going on right here. Not the greatest fight positioning for Remind, seeing as he does appear to be, if we look and check the foods, yeah, he is outnumbered here by about 10 food in this fight. And going ahead and TPing out, with lots of low HP units, hopefully you'll be able to TP out with all of them, but no, one of them does go down. I would say that was a pretty decisive victory for Lyn, in fact. I don't really know what he lost in that fight, if much, but either way, definitely a good fight. Good win by Lyn right there in that battle. So we do see this army building back up. He does want to try to get this maybe to be a little bit stronger. He does go ahead and throw down yet another Moonwell so he can go into upkeep. And Lyn generally you break upkeep if you're going for an expansion. We did see him go for an expansion early and it did get killed. It looks like he's going for yet another expansion, trying to get that up. And generally, you don't want to break upkeep until you're going for an expansion. Generally, not always. That's definitely not always the case, but it is a very general kind of thing. And the reason for that is you lose money for every. Normally, when you mine something, you get 10 gold. Every one of these peasants brings back 10 gold. But when you hit upkeep, or a low upkeep as it is, which is breaking 50 food, then they only get 7. And if you hit a high upkeep, which is breaking 80 food, then they only get 4 gold for each one of these. And it still drains 10 gold every time from your gold mine. So that's a pretty big deal. And that's generally why you generally don't want to break your upkeep until you're expanding. So, but it is still useful to do it anyway, even if you don't expand, simply because it's nice to have map control, but it's just one of those strategically in-depth kind of things that you can do. We do see one of the observers was probably lagging, and someone said out and he left, so that's basically what happened there. And you can see this item, this decent items. Looks like a Ring of Protection plus 3, not a bad item, definitely not a bad item. Probably will end up being sold at some point, but that does bring him up to 9 armor, which is quite a bit of armor. Makes him very tanky, and he is an agility hero, and of course all agility heroes have a lot of armor. As you can see, the Blade Master also has 6. This fight is going off. Not a bad position right here for Lyn, not probably, or really for Remind. Not a bad position, just kind of more of a face tanky fight. And here we can see these wisps coming in here to go ahead and dispel some of that mana from each one of these things, as well as dispelling Spirit Link. Here you see 2 more wisps, in fact, and you can see bears going down. I'm not sure. We're not really seeing a lot in going as far as the staffs of preservation are going. You do see the Blade Master chasing the Demon Hunter. Here we can see him going, Demon Hunter running back to his bears where he can get rejuvenation off. And now we can see the Blade Master actually being chased by the Demon Hunter this time. A little bit of a comical switch here. However, unfortunately for Remind, he has pretty much lost this fight pretty badly over there in the lower part of it, where his bears just getting really picked off by these units. Not really a lot you can do about it. One bear going down, as well as a Coda Beast going down, which allows another bear to come back out. Here we can see, of course, it's really using these entangling roots here to just go ahead and pick units off, which has really been how he does it. And it is unfortunately the time for Lyn to retreat. He does not have his Blade Master in this fight, and he is being chased by a very powerful Demon Hunter, as well as a level 3 Keeper of the Grove and 2 Druids of the Claw in bear form. Here we do see him running away, and he doesn't have enough mana, but he does go ahead to really do anything at all. But he does have a Bull Pot and a lesser healing, or a Scroll of Healing. Oof. And he's going to run away. He's being taken quite a bit of damage. He might actually get picked off here if he doesn't use one of his items. But he's going to be able to get away, in fact, no problem. Here's his expansion, being found just before it goes up, taking a lot of damage while it's being built. However, once it finishes being built, not quite as easy to kill, and the army is coming in from Lyn. So this is a pretty important position, a really important point in time for Remind. If he loses this fight, then he will be in a very bad position in the game. Trying to kill this great hall. And as you can see, quite a bit of damage from these Druids of the Claw, which really just obliterate the building with ease. So really good for Remind, keeping him in the game. I would say that even though he lost that fight, he's not doing too terrible here. One issue is that these are both level 4-4, and he is only 4-3, so he is a little bit behind in terms of experience. It's not a huge deal for your Keeper of the Grove to be slightly under-leveled there, but it definitely would be nice to have perhaps a level 2 of Thorns, which is quite nice as it gets better in these big, long melee fights. It's not really ideal, but it is an aura, and it's better perhaps than the Treants. And the Treants really just don't jive well with this many melee units. You don't really want to have too many melee units. You could maybe use them to surround, but they don't really do a whole lot in terms of blocking. They're pretty small units, and I think you're probably way better off just using Entangling Aura, or Entangling Roots with all of your mana, because it's such a powerful skill, especially against the high HP units that the Orc has. Because each level, at level 2, it's very powerful. So we'll see that happening, and we'll see one of these Kodabeasts probably getting immediately entangled. And if we watch what will happen, it has 1,000 life, and it goes all the way down. It's like down to it does an insane amount of damage and lasts so long. But here we do see a raider being used on a raider this time. In fact, we see the Keeper of the Grove Grove has a staff of teleportation on, in case he has to staff out and come back into the fight. And here we do see the Demon Hunter taking immediately lots of damage. However, he is able to run away and get rejuvenated on. And we see another bear going down. Again, a lot of damage from the Orc army, really just kind of out damaging the elf here. This Kodabeast does have a bear in his belly, which is not ideal for Remind. Of course, Spirit Link is a big deal in these fights, and that's why Remind wanted to bring in those wisps when he could. But who's going to win this fight? I'm not sure. It's looking to me like it's going to be the Orc here, but it just depends on if you can get another rejuve off onto the Demon Hunter, and it doesn't actually have one. He needs to pass maybe the wand, the staff of teleportation, over to his. Nope. Okay, he's doing fine. Running away though, he really is kind of losing this fight here, and he needs to staff something out or something, and it might be on cooldown, but I don't think so. Here we do see another bear. It looks like getting ensnared. It's probably going to go down. This is not good for Remind. He's unable to win this fight, and again, another pretty decisive victory for Lyn in this game, which is not ideal for Remind at all. Here we can see both of his heroes very close to 5-5. If they get 5-5, it'll be very, very difficult for Remind really to even fight, being so under-leveled comparatively. So, and of course, bears aren't a bad choice, but just pure bears, it's not really doing too hot for Remind so far in this game. Maybe if he could get bigger army counts, maybe. Maybe he just needs to get to 60 food. Maybe he needs to have some dryads. I'm not really sure what he needs to do, but whatever he's been doing so far, it's not really working. Lyn is getting the better end of the stick each one of these games, and here we can see again several Spirit Walkers coming out in play. Spirit Walkers doing quite a bit against these bears. Of course, they have magic damage, and if you notice, right here we can see that the bears take extra damage from magic attacks, and the Spirit Walker is pretty much in the back just wailing on these bears, and as well as the Spirit Link. We actually see a claws of attack right there, just on the ground, not being picked up by a Remind as he walks by it. And of course, if that means that the Orc doesn't have it, and he does have vision, because whenever you have one of your units eaten, and we can just see this, you have vision of that Kodabeast. So, and as soon as it dies, he'll lose vision. And you can see down here, he does go ahead and cancel the expansion. That's the third time it happened, and you can see that the Kodabeast has finished devouring it. But that is the third time that the expansion has been canceled by Remind. So quite an interesting thing. This is a fight going on right here. There's no way out of this fight for Remind, so he needs to win this fight or he's going to be in a bad position here. Lots of focus fire onto this Blade Master. However, he does have an Invul Pot as well as 2 healing scrolls, and we can see that the Demon Hunter also taking quite a bit of damage, being dispelled. His rejuvenations are being dispelled. His rejuvenations are very important in all of these fights. Here we do see that the Invul Pot has been used on the Blade Master, and he doesn't have much else, but there's really nothing keeping this Demon Hunter alive either, or this Keeper of the Grove. This bear is also going to go down, and there's really no more bears coming in for Remind. He needs to get away from these raiders right here. If he gets ensnared on his Demon Hunter, he's probably going to lose it. Ideally, he would get ensnared on the Keeper of the Grove where he can staff it out. The Demon Hunter actually, the Blade Master coming in with a 232 damage crit and killing the Demon Hunter. Unfortunate. Remind calls GG. Ouch. That is a very hard-hitting Blade Master. Jeez, man. 232 crits. That's a lot. Remind was not expecting to lose his Demon Hunter there, I don't think. He was running away. He just got the rejuve off. He was looking good and looking like he was going to get out of that fight, but Then that Blade Master came out of nowhere and just, oof. Anyway, I'll see you in game 4 right here. Just click it. It's right there. Yeah, just click it.